My parents are both doctors and so are my two younger siblings. So I'm the eldest of three children. Out of the five of us, there's basically four doctors in the family and one, I guess, shoe doctor. So I never really thought I would be a shoemaker. So I always had a hobby to just do leathercraft. And at that point in time, I was coaching tennis full-time. So I had to decide whether I wanted to coach tennis for the rest of my life or if I wanted to try and do a career switch. So I decided to move to Italy to actually learn how to become a professional bag maker. There was also a course where they taught shoemaking. So I decided, since I'm all the way there, why not take up both? As soon as I started doing shoemaking, I realized that I really liked shoemaking even more than bag making. So I figured, let's just switch over. After I finished that course at the trade school, I went on to do an apprenticeship at a bespoke shoemaker called Stefano Bemmer. He's a Florentine-based bespoke shoemaker. And I finished the rest of my internship there. I wish I could have stayed longer, but unfortunately I ran out of money, so I had to come back to Singapore to set up the business. I think the time when I figured out that this was what I wanted to do was when I made the first pair of shoes for my dad. He used to tell me that he would never spend more than $200 on a pair of shoes for himself. And then when I told him kind of what the price of bespoke shoes were and what I was planning to charge, I think he almost fainted. I'll always remember that first pair and the look on his face when he tried it on, and I think that's when both of us knew that I wanted to do this seriously and that he gave me his full support. The way I make shoes is very, very old-fashioned or traditional. The only machine that I use is the sewing machine to stitch the uppers on. But other than that, all the other processes are completely done by hand. Because of that, it takes me around 100 to maybe 130 hours to finish a pair of shoes. With every process that you do, if you don't do the previous process well, it will affect how easy it is to go on later down the road. Every single step has to be done as perfect as possible. So there are more than probably 130 different steps to how I make the shoes. But I think if you really want to break down to the more important steps, I think the first step would be to click the leather. So when we say clicking, we're referring to cutting the leather pieces out from the leather. Then the next step would be what we call closing. So closing refers to stitching all the different parts of the upper together. Then you're ready to start what we call lasting. So lasting refers to the process of wrapping the leather around the shoe lasts, and that forms the basic shape that you would see on the final pair of shoes. So once the lasting has been done, then you would do what we call welting. So I do hand welting because I don't have the machine, and I just feel that it's a little bit more traditional that way. Most of us do the outsole stitching by hand as well. The final step would be to build the heel of the shoe. We stack the heel one layer at a time to make sure that it's balanced out perfectly. So it's a little bit more time consuming, but it results in a more comfortable shoe for the customer. Then the last few steps would just be finishing. At the moment in the local market, most of the shoes that women get are just industrial made, kind of factory made shoes. So the quality and the workmanship behind the shoe isn't that great. So we figured, why is it that the men get all the good stuff? Why not give some of the women some of the well-crafted shoes? With Palola's made-to-order range, you're able to have your left foot and right foot in two different sizes if you need to, or you can have your left foot and right foot in the same size but two different widths. For me, it's more important how or who makes the shoes rather than where the shoes are made. So you could have a pair of shoes that's made in Italy, but if it's made by a poor craftsman or it's not made well, it's shoddily made, then just because it has the made in Italy stamp on it doesn't make it a good pair of shoes. But at the same time, you could have a pair of shoes that's made in Singapore by a Singaporean shoemaker, but if it's made with a lot of love and care, you're probably guaranteed a pair of shoes that's going to be better even though it has a made in Singapore stamp.